All right. So with a bit of delay, so we're actually starting the second iteration of building cdk.dev. So it's again, if you see the first iteration, it's again Edwin joining in from Amsterdam and myself. Yeah, so the last time we were building, well, like basically the first iteration of the design of the website. And today we want to simplify the content edition of this. Yeah, I don't know, like perhaps we should start with, or like, do you want to say a few words perhaps?
Yeah, depends. We can just have a look at what we're going to build today and go through the architecture, maybe talk a bit about, maybe we can introduce the solution that we want to build and what's the goal, and then we can have a look how we're going to do that architecture-wise.
Yes. Right. So you've made a beautiful architecture diagram, and I'm going to share my screen for a bit. Oh, hang on. Just need to shuffle around a few of those windows here. There we go. Right. So that's what we, well, sort of built the last time. So we haven't really finished it actually, but we did finish it, well, in the following days after the first live stream. And so what this essentially is like a landing page and like a bit of content, mainly posts, like blog posts, and just referenced here, so you can click. And well, it takes you just to the post. So not too fancy. Same goes for resources here. And at the moment, if you want to add content, you have to create a pull request. So since all the content is stored in GitHub, it's a Next.js application, statically exported and hosted on Netlify, which means the content is actually stored as YAML files. So we introduced like a little content section here, and each of those posts, which you can see on the website, is essentially like a YAML file and a cover image if there's any. And that's quite error prone. So like we had a few pull requests from the community, and I think, I don't know, like maybe 3 or 4 or so, and I think in almost all of them were like some issues, like either naming or like formatting, I don't know. So yeah, it's error prone and it's quite tedious. So we thought,
if you upload stuff, it was often also in the initial layout, was often huge PNG files, like avatar photos that were like half a MB big. So we can go around that a bit with automated scraping.
Yes, and so we have posts here, and there's actually like a relation to users. So like that the author is also shown, and in theory you could link like the Twitter profile and LinkedIn and whatnot. But at the moment, so each content section also relates to one user, and this should also be reflected somehow. So, and what we are thinking as well, as Edwin just said, well, like most of this information could be scraped pretty well. So when you look at here the title, the excerpt, the actual image, the author, the URL, categories. Yeah, categories is probably hard to scrape. But, yeah, it would be nice if this would be easier. In particular, if you want to add like a bunch of multiple blog posts, then it becomes like a bit difficult. And I think in the long run, we want to have something that is not really tied to the Git storage anyway. So Yeah, and since the website is about CDK, AWS CDK, and all the other CDKs, we thought it would make a lot of sense to just build it in AWS. And where is it? So that's, can you see this? Yeah.
Yep, that sounds good.
So the rough idea is that we have like a little input form and some sort of scraper, and this input form would take the URL, and the scraper would output the metadata for that thing. Yeah, this diagram looks fairly simple. So we did prepare like a bit. So we looked into how to build this prior to the session. Perhaps you want to elaborate on this a bit, since you looked into the GraphQL part.
So the idea is to deploy it via CDK pipelines. So we have a very simple pipeline that triggers on GitHub repos, so commits to the GitHub repo. In this case, I would trigger the pipeline. But in this case, it only deploys the AppSync resolver and the corresponding Lambda function, which will run the LinkedIn scraper, the linked scraper in this case, that we're going to use to scrape the website. So we have some input from the user, URL, for example, and then the rest will be done in the backend by Playwright, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think so. Yeah, nice serverless solution that if we get it running, then it will be a really cool use case. Shout outs to cdkpatterns.com, the AppSync GraphQL link and Lambda function is a pattern that you can download and is available on cdkpatterns.com. So
cool.
Pretty cool.
So that's this one here, right?
Exactly. So I think it's called the Great or the Super GraphQL pattern. Yeah, there you go. Gateways, third one on the bottom to the right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Super simple, straightforward. It was a great, easy process to download it, install it, and then modify it for my requirements. Look at it, it's great, really great, documented, even with the sample project in it, the REST components, the demo app is still in place at that point because it was just comfortable. Yeah. It's really good.
Awesome.
Good one.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So have you done anything with GraphQL so far, or is this the first time?
Last year, I tried to build with my colleagues an account vending machine, but then I went to a different project. But they basically used the serverless stack and yeah, playing around a bit with GraphQL, but that's it.
Yeah, I did like a bigger project in GraphQL, but it's like 2.5 years ago. So when we finished it, so it's like quite a while. But I still like GraphQL quite a lot, so it's quite nice. Yeah. Anyway, so I think so. The reason for the delay was that when we started was that I had to set up the local environment like a bit, and to get those pipelines actually bootstrapped. Yeah, so let's have a look. So the bootstrapping actually worked. That's good. So, and this was the pipeline bootstrapping, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So the CDK pipeline construct requires a different kind of bootstrapping. So you need to change a small parameter in the cdk.json file, and that basically sets it up for the.
So what are pipelines doing anyway? Like, so could you? So what do we have now? So we bootstrap this, and now we have what?
Right now, from the bootstrapping, I don't think we have anything, so we need to deploy it first. This bootstrapping is preparing the CDK environment in this account. Not environment, but the fundamental...
like the buckets and
bucket,
stuff like this. Yeah.
that's required to...
Okay, so this was not specific to the CDK pipelines, this bootstrapping, but the generic.
Okay. There's a classic bootstrapping that you've done before, like once in your account. The CDK pipelines use a new form of synthesis. So the way it synthesizes is different. So it needs to have this new way enabled. I guess they will include it in the newer versions. That is the standard way of synthesizing. But for now, every new account that you try to deploy a pipeline into, it needs to be bootstrapped first. No.
Right. Yeah.
Process from here on is that we now need to deploy it once, and then we have the reference to GitHub, and then it is enough that we get push to the Git repo, and the changes happen through the pipeline.
Yeah. Okay, then let's just...
Yeah, I've copied you a command into Slack in this time. I've copied you a command into Slack. If you copy that quickly, the reference specifically this stack, the pipeline stack.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess we need to get rid of the profile again. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So for this account, I'm using, or I'm trying to use the single sign-on, the AWS SSO, and it's actually quite hard to get it right and working with the CDK, since, I don't know, it's a mess. So I was fighting with it twice. So I got it working like a week ago, and now I looked into it like 15 minutes before the stream, and yeah, nothing worked.
Nice.
But anyway,
if you scroll up, then you can see all the components that we're now deploying.
Yeah, so that's a pipeline, right? So yeah, that's quite a lot. Yep. So they did set up the GitHub token. So in theory, so I haven't tried this before. So in theory, it should find the token when we look at the code.
If it doesn't work, it will break at this point in deployment. I had that. I copied the token not in plain text, but as a key value pair. Yeah. And this ended up to fail then the initial deployment. So we will notice quite early.
Right. Okay. So which one was it? This one?
I think the pipeline dev. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong repo. This will likely fail.
Oh yeah. But yeah, line 26 is what we've been looking at.
Yeah, exactly. So I set this token in the secrets manager. So therefore, I would guess that it will just find it.
That worked out of the box once I got the plain text token in place. So pretty certain.
Okay, cool.
Good chances that it works. What was interesting as well, it failed first on me, and yeah, the branch was master, but it was a new Git repo, and now they changed it all to main, right?
I think so I created this repo before.
Yeah, maybe it fails then. Depends on what branch it is.
Yeah, I think it's master. So we haven't changed it yet. We should do that, I guess. And yeah, right. Okay, cool. So while this deploys, so perhaps we can just look a bit through the layout. So this is a website repository, which is live at the moment, right? So it's the same repository. So I just inlined what you had in this repository, just as a folder. And this project was set up as a Yarn workspace repository, so as a mono repository essentially. And yeah, so there's a front end, which is this Next.js app. There's infrastructure, which is now an AWS CDK app. And then we have packages, which is the link scraper itself, and something to create a GitHub pull request, since, well, we still want to build it through the existing pipeline, for now at least. And maybe at some later point, we would probably use DynamoDB or something like this as a content store. But for now, it's probably the easiest way to just keep GitHub in place. And the link scraper is this Playwright. So this Playwright scraper, Playwright is more or less the successor of Puppeteer, which is the same team, I think, which also built Puppeteer, and it's now based at Microsoft. And it's not only Chrome, but Firefox and I don't know which browser you can drive through that. But I'm using Chrome here. Yeah. I have the feeling, so I did prepare like a tiny page, which doesn't really do much. But I think like the first goal should be to get this GraphQL stuff deployed.
And then we can try it out with Postman, for example. Try the API.
The good thing about GraphQL is you have this GraphQL interface. You don't need any tooling to test it. So yeah, I mean, I was expecting to fail. Not found documentation URL. What was not found? Yeah, sure. It's like the wrong credentials. So we changed that. So it should just work now. I hope. So the error message was that that your repository couldn't be found, which makes sense since I think it was private. And therefore, we can't certainly add a GitHub hook to that. Yes, one thing which we could look into, or which we should look into, is how to actually deploy this Lambda function.
And there was, yeah, exactly. There was this GitHub repo.
Playwright AWS Lambda. Chrome is supported, that's good. Okay, so this means it will just, what? It will just ship its own Chromium? Looks like it. So I remember that for Puppeteer, I think there were Lambda layers which you could use. But yeah, this seems not too bad. So I would just try to use this package and then see how far we get with that. Might be that they mess up the typing for TypeScript, but we will see. Anyway, so this deploys. Then let's have a look at the infrastructure stack again, like the AWS CDK function application. So we are just deploying the pipeline, which is actually going to deploy the AppSync app.
Yep.
So, so we bootstrap ourselves more or less.
If we messed it up completely, we're just going to deploy it without the pipeline. And then throw it in a pipeline afterwards. So
I think it's actually the first time really that I'm using pipelines. I have heard many good things about it. So I expect that it just works.
Yeah, but I tried it Friday for the first time. I had some hiccups, like the wrong GitHub token and the main and master stuff, but the rest actually worked. So it was quite cool. It was pleasant. Yeah. This is also great documented, actually. This is really good,
cool.
Good blog posts around it. Yeah, it's super simple stack.
So what do we have here? So we have the actual API. We have the schema, which is inlined here. Yeah, here's the schema. We have the API key. That's the one which we use to authenticate against AppSync, right?
Yep, exactly.
And from what I've learned and what you've told me as well is that app key authentication is more or less a way for anonymous access.
Yeah.
So since you can just, I don't know, get rid of the key and then whoever has a key can, is just blocked. And so it is apparently not really an issue to just have it as part of your, assets and HTML and JavaScript and whatever you deliver to the client. So it's apparently not an issue.
We put it as a environment variable, right? Are we going to?
We'll see. Perhaps you just stuff it in here somehow.
The API keys are not the best solution since they also are only valid maximum for a year. And then after you could prolong it for a year. But that it could easily happen that it times out. Right. At some point, our website will just stop working, I guess. I'm
pretty sure this will happen to like a bunch of people. Yes.
There is a way to do it with cognito identity pools, but there's no CDK construct, like a comfortable construct. So it needs some time to investigate, try it out. So I think we can settle for the beginning for a nice API key, and then afterwards make it proper.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Right, and then we do have a Lambda function here already. We actually do have the folder. There is already the handlers there. That's quite nice. And the Lambda data source. So does this field name? Does this is this already the new version which does work without the mapping?
Yeah. That's the one. It's directly to Lambda. So without the VLT, it was really straightforward.
That's great. So the last time I was working with AppSync, I still had to do the mapping, and that was actually the hardest part to get this working properly.
Nice. Yeah. So that's two things we should actually be careful of, because it will show the API key probably for a short time in the console. Once we deploy it, CDK output.
Oh, this one, it's
great for testing.
I mean, I wouldn't be concerned about this. In the end, if you ship it to the client anyway, it's public. So,
what's cool in the end is that AppSync at least doesn't count unauthorized requests, and you don't pay for that. I think you only pay for authorized requests.
But this would be an authorized request, right?
Yes, that would be one. But if it's unauthorized, at least like a DDoS attack or something that doesn't bankrupt you.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's
that makes sense. That quickly.
Cool. So we do have the AppSync stack deployed.
Did it work?
That is good, I think.
Nice. Yes. Oh, cool. Let's have a look in the console, what we just deployed, what's there already.
So
here's an example for 5 million requests, including data transfer of 3 kilobytes back and forth, and it's $20 per month. I think we can scale our website accordingly. Yeah. So I think it will not have, I think it will be in code pipelines now.
In code pipelines.
Yeah. So we just deployed the pipeline, so AppSync shouldn't be there yet. And now we need to trigger the pipeline. I think we have to commit once and push. Oh, it failed. Yeah, that could be okay. Let's see, build stage. What did it say?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different setup. So we probably have to configure it, the build step.
Yeah.
Since we are in the model repo.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It could be that's the stage where the GitHub
How do I look into the logs? I'm using
I
the
just clicked
pipeline.
I think the first link, the pipeline execution ID, that
Oh.
has also the logs behind it.
Synth failed. Yeah, that makes sense. But I'm pretty sure we can customize this somehow.
Yeah, somewhere are proper logs. Really execution logs.
Yeah, this looks like it.
Just gonna double check where that was.
Pre-built download source message, blah, command npm CDK. But npm, first of all, we don't use npm. Second of all, it should, let's see how we can customize this. So like either we...
Oh, it's missing just a package log.json, no? And that's because we use yarn, huh?
We use yarn and it's a monorepo. So if you just run yarn and then, you would run the default commands, then you would have to run change the directory into infrastructure, or you have to add a script into the top level package JSON.
Okay.
So how do you configure this?
Pipeline.dev -dev stack. And then you have basically the build command in the second step.
Source action, GitHub source action. Standard npm synth. So what do we have there?
That would be cool if we have a yarn integration there. Let me have a look.
Yeah, standard yarn synth.
Oh, really? Out of the box. Nice.
Is there?
Oh, yeah. Uses yarn install frozen log file to install dependencies and npx CDK synth to synthesize.
So, and what do we have here?
I think we can. Do we need a build stage? A build step? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, we could just adjust the build command, I think.
Yeah, the build command is recommended to just do npm yarn run. Or was it? Here's the
source artifact build
yarn
command. Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, in theory. So who's doing the yarn install? Does this happen automatically?
Yeah, if you look at the Hoover, if you hover over standard yarn synth, it tells you what it does.
All right, cool. Well, then I would just go and keep it simple. Infrastructure. Yeah, it's not that simple since we are on a branch. But no, actually, it should be not that bad. Streamline content. So we can just adjust the branch. We just have to make sure to push. Then we cd into infrastructure and I don't need to run yarn build. That's correct? Yeah, I think so.
Good, yeah.
So the question is like, will subsequent commands, or is there like some like a working directory? Sync command, install command, since we would have to install command npx CDK synth. You know what I mean, right? So like since we are scoped to this infrastructure folder, like all of the commands would have to be inside this infrastructure folder. Das ist
Let's try it out.
So we have the build command. So then we have action name, environment,
What do you
install
need?
command. Yeah, sync command or not? I don't know. So like the deployment, I mean, someone has to deploy and someone has to deploy from within infrastructure. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, and you have to push. Yeah, that's, I don't know, somehow this is really slow.
If you can make the size a bit bigger, it's easier to read.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yo, that's quite a lot of changes already. Looks like they have committed some modules or so. Oh, anyway.
I think it's now, that's the cool part. I think it's now self-mutating. So based on the push, or maybe now not, but in the future, once the pipeline is set up, we commit to the repo. It's pretty sweet.
So, right, so the pipeline itself updates itself,
yeah,
and then takes care of the deployment of the actual stack, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the old one. That's the new one. No, fingers crossed that it works. If not, I think we can.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced that.
It's a bit more complex setup than.
Yes, yeah, sure. Like we switched it from like a single repo to a mono repo. So I make sure this works, and then I think the build step will also work. The sync step will likely fail.
Okay.
But then I'm not sure, like entering phase build, yes.
It's definitely a lot of execute command failed. Can I find name test?
AppSync CDK test, yes.
Did we change anything in the?
Oh, empty stack. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, but I mean, I might have messed it up while copying it over. So let's see. Test.
I actually got rid of it.
npm types just. Oh, that's.
That's a lot of peer dependency stuff.
Yeah. No, that didn't help.
I think yeast is installed at types in yeast. So I'm curious why it throws an error there.
You know what? Do we need those tests anyway?
I guess we can get rid of them.
Was it like this? Oh no, he's not finding the types. Is there any help? Oh. Okay. Then, but when we get rid of this, I think, why is it running?
What about we'll
oh no, we can just drop it.
What about we go for the pipeline in the next iteration, and this one we're just going to straight deploy the AppSync and Lambda function behind it.
Yes.
Because I think we need to modify the pipeline for the Yarn workspace.
Yeah, that's correct. It's likely that pipelines are not really tailored to monorepos yet. So I mean, it's probably not the day-to-day use case. But yeah, sure. So we got rid of the type, so it should just build. And then we can just manually deploy.
I guess CDK deploy and then AppSync CDK and run a stack. Could that work? Did we just deploy the AppSync stack?
Is there like some CDK list? AppSync CDK stack. This one?
Let's see. Yeah, it's called AppSync CDK stack. Yes. Let's see if I don't have a reference to anything in here. No, the one should be okay.
All right, so then let's briefly think about what we're doing here.
Right. Yeah. So right now you get a loyalty status back. Right. I think the structure is okay, huh? With the export handler. And
yeah, sure. That's perfect. That's perfect. So what I'm wondering is how do we reference this? I think you have to, yeah, probably. So what I'm thinking is here we have the link scraper. Let's perhaps let's have a look. This is using the Playwright package. So if you just saw the other package, which is tailored to the AWS Lambda environment, probably ship some Chromium as part of the package. So I'm wondering where we switch this, or like where we change it. Like it's probably the easiest if we just change it here.
I mean, we could operate on the open heart and do it on the deployed Lambda function. Best practice.
The issue is that like we have to. I'm actually not sure how the AWS CDK Lambda handler is working with dependencies. Like if it's smart and inlining them automatically, or. And I think I remember it it isn't that smart at the moment, at least the last time I was using this. So I think we will have to inline like the node modules folder. So you'd have to essentially have like an inline package JSON in the Lambda function and deploy. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's exactly what this thing is doing, right? So this stack here, this Lambda function from asset.
No, this is from a directory, but I think we can use S3 with assets that will upload the zip file, and then we can reference that from lambda code.
I think it's doing this automatically. I hope. I would be surprised if it wasn't doing this. Let's see. But what I mean is it won't really run like ship dependencies automatically. You know, from bucket. So what you meant is from bucket, but I think like from asset is doing essentially the same, but doing it automatically.
I'm just thinking.
So what I would just try is, first of all, we'll switch into, oh, this worked. Beautiful. So, and here, here's that one. We just added.
Okay, so here's a sample application that bundles a TypeScript app.
Yeah.
I can make that public. I'll send it to you in Slack. I'll put it in the notes later. So you can have a look at it together. So it's a sample app.
So okay, here layer, Lambda function, deploy, call your function. Oh.
Is that useful, or is that not what we're looking for?
It's Deno for one, so like this new node.
Oh yeah,
thing.
Deno version.
That's why they have this layer here as well. No, okay. But I mean that's essentially what I was going to do is we did add the dependency here. Now we can try in the scraper and I don't know. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. We probably don't really have any types. Oh, you do have types. Okay, then we just have to wrap this a bit differently.
Mm-hmm. Chromium browser is not supported. What is it looking for? I think it's is it playwright.launch Chromium.
Yeah, but it's a type.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have this playwright launch Chromium. So, and what do we get here? Yeah, here's any. Okay, then let's just go with any.
That's always a good solution.
Yes, absolutely. It is fantastic.
Here we go. How can we use TypeScript and go around TypeScript's limitations?
So when we build this.
And your Playwright application runs already locally? That works?
It did,
yes. Work? Cool.
So what's wrong? ESLint. Screw ESLint for now.
So TypeScript JSON?
No, I think it's part of the build command. Yarn compile, yarn test. Get rid of this.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So I
Playwright core. So Chromium itself references.
But that's the AWS Lambda thing. Also, it has a peer dependency, but didn't tell us. Is that possible?
Playwright core, yeah, looks like it, huh? Oh yeah, they install it actually in the GitHub. So it's Playwright core and Playwright AWS Lambda.
Right. Okay.
So good chances that it builds now. Let's see, what do we need else?
So this builds, and then we have our compiled JavaScript here. Oh, and it's not headless. Why is it not headless?
Hey, Adam.
But yeah, it works nevertheless.
Nice. Okay, cool. Let's show the output. I haven't seen it yet.
Right. So what I'm looking for here is for like several things, which is for one plain open graph data, then Twitter data, like Twitter metadata, which is sort of like an extension to the open graph spec or tags. Apparently both haven't been really set on this website. And then there's this readability JS, which is, like when you, in some browsers, I think, I'm not sure if Chrome has this, but in Firefox, you have this, essentially there's this print view, right? So like get rid of all the clutter, all the ads and all this stuff, just show me the text.
Yeah, they have it. Yeah.
That's essentially readability. And it also extracts the title, the content.
That worked, cool.
And the content twice, once with HTML tags, and then just the version with stripped tags. And so I tried this on several sites. It's, well, more or less okay. It also tries to generate an excerpt, which is also nice, so that you don't have to deal with that.
It's not bad, actually.
And oh yeah, this appears to be just taken from the meta description. It looks like to be the same, but okay. I think it works. I've seen it in cases where there wasn't a meta description, and then it's still getting the technical. Yeah, I don't know. Title. And screenshots, like the viewport and the full page. So
that's really cool.
So the full page is quite long in this case, but this is also
cool.
Yeah. So the idea, I'm not really sure what the idea is, but so what I'm particularly not sure about is like if this is like a one-step or like a two-step process. Like like what are we doing with those screenshots in the end? Are we uploading them to S3, or are we, you know, I think like if you want to show them to the user, we have to upload them to S3. Yeah, so it's probably we have to do this, yes.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll be back in 1 second,
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, sure. So, but anyway, we will just go on. So this builds, and then I thought we might just, yeah, so I was just saying, so maybe we can just reference this, since this is a mono repo, we should be able to reference it here for sure. So, but I think what we want in the end is we want, like, let's just do it manually here, and infrastructure. So we just init this, and I think what we should do is link scraper is, for some reason, there's quite some lags sometimes. So package.json, link scraper. And now, so I'm not sure how this works with recursive mono repositories. Let's see.
That goes far beyond my experience with the. I'm fully trusting you to what you're doing there.
Yeah, it will be, I know, it will be all right, I think. So, and now, no, but actually, do we want a mono repo here? No, what we do want is, like, a monorepo would have this, would just have a symlink, and I'm not sure. I mean, would it even have a symlink, or would it be just? Let's have a look.
Maybe a different question. Why are we using it within the mono repo here? What is the reason for not separating it?
Simplicity. This might sound like madness. But when you think about, like, you know, like for example, the changes which we just did, you know, swapping out the playwright against this AWS playwright thing. If you had like a separate repository, what would you do? You would actually commit it, push it, and or somehow release it, or however you distribute your package then, and then you would pull it in here. And since, well, this is quite an overhead if you want to iterate quickly across like a, you know, like a bunch of different packages. So I think this would be not really great. Or did you mean, why not just inline it as a Lambda function?
No, exactly what you just explained.
Okay.
That was what I was looking for. Yeah. Oh, nice.
So I think, like, in particular, if you have, like, you know, like a bunch of smaller packages which you want to cross-reference, then it's way easier that way. Nice. So what did it do? Nothing really. Only up to date. Yeah, so I think that's probably not going to work. Let's see. I think it was like, so we are here, to up, packages, link, scraper. So what I'm looking for is something which actually copies it over.
So it creates new node modules folder within this small.
Yeah, exactly.
think someone needs to update his CDK version as well.
Actually, I think I did. Oh, but that's not working. What if I just do npm here?
It's always strange to see how long npm takes compared to Yarn. It's like Yarn and also Python packages.
Yeah,
they're in an instance.
But I think to be fair, like Yarn had probably like a cache here, which npm didn't. So renames this call. Yeah, okay, that's not really going to work, I think. Perhaps I should look up syntax. Or we should rethink how we do this. Fade to no such file directory. And then node modules, staging, link scraper, node modules. Okay. Yeah.
The staging looks. No.
That's I'm not sure what this is. So do we are right here? Packages, link scraper. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so this doesn't work.
So maybe you can explain again what is the challenge now?
So the idea would be to add the link scraper package as dependency to the Lambda function. And
then Lambda would deploy it for us. So
yes.
Grab also the local package.
Let's have a look at the
Playwright.
Streamline, Jupyter. Yeah.
You still have it open, or shall I send it to you?
Yeah.
It's
open ready. Currently only Chromium supported.
It looks like it works without the reference to the Playwright package, huh?
Yes, I mean it's not really saying anything. I wonder what this is doing.
It's definitely quite popular.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's where we forgot the core part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what I was wondering if this needs to be built in a Docker container or anything, like native dependencies and so on. But yeah, it doesn't say anything like this. So I don't know. Perhaps
it will run out of the box.
Upload
the package.
It looks so easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's quickly think. npm file reference package. npm packages, local dependency. Oh, 2014. It's quite old. So, but pretty much what file column, pretty much what we did. So I think the issue is likely this nested setup. So what we could try is to get rid of this. Maybe this is conflicting in Yarn.
And where do we put it in one directory?
Yeah, that would be the next.
Sorry.
Next step.
Sorry.
Let's just try it once if it's working. So we do this, and we go to the Lambda. We do a yarn here. Oh,
Playwright. Oh yeah, I saw it for a second.
Okay, so we just had to get rid of the monorepo settings, which makes sort of sense.
Sure. If you're saying that makes sense.
I'm just winging it anyway. So we do have node modules. That's beautiful. Which means, in theory, we should have our link scraper package here. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, okay, not too bad. Do we export anything or no? Maybe we should make it usable. So index. So how about we export an actual function here?
That's not the link scraper function, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just exactly. We are in the link scraper package, and we probably want to use the URL as an argument. I think that would be nice.
It's interface, huh? But maybe we can start with a hard-coded one, and then in a second.
Yeah, sure. But we hard-code it in the Lambda function.
Deal. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we don't need to invoke it anymore. That can go right up. And so we just build it once again. We should set up a watch job or something like this, but yeah, so we have built it. So now since we
actually
inline this, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it didn't load didn't load for a second.
Yes, I did save. Oh, did I save? I thought I saved it. Alter, was ist das? That's broken. Packages, link. For some reason, my computer is super slow. I have no idea what's going on. It can't be just this streaming. Yeah, build.
Yes. Do you have lots of experience with TypeScript Lambda code? What's your preferred script language?
No, I mean TypeScript. We don't actually. I mean, this is TypeScript here, yes, but we build and compile it down to JavaScript. I mean, that's how TypeScript works anyway. Yep. And we actually use the JavaScript file, which is defined somewhere here. We should have here this one exactly. So that's the entry point for the package libindex.js, and which then equals, this is index TypeScript, and then this equals to the index.js.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to reference here, right? So in this Lambda thing, we can then actually go, I should install it first. So I think we do have like an actual copy, and it's not auto-updating at the moment. So, like whenever we change something, I think you have to force an update here.
Okay.
Let's see. So what I would expect what we could do is this. We type it correctly. And we should see a scrape function.
It's not complaining at that point, huh? Export scrape.
It's not well, we are. But I'm not sure what it's saying. Yeah, let's see. Scrape.
Should be string, or? You export it as a string, or?
I'm not sure if I defined a return value. Yeah, but here's no. Oh, did we define types? So what I'm missing is type information, right? So like, it's not saying me what it's doing. It's not saying what kind of arguments we have. I mean, sure, we return, as well, we return nothing. And let's just return any, that's totally fine. And we just return result for now. So that's okay.
Are you complaining about any?
Because it should be a promise, it's async. And therefore it should be a promise. So main, do you have types here? Yes, index, the types are exported, so I'm not sure what the issue is. I would have expected, I mean, we built this correctly. Yeah, so there's the type definition. Oh yeah, perhaps we don't have a, let's see. Perhaps we don't, I mean, we do have TypeScript here. Let's just copy the TypeScript config over, put it here.
Okay, that could be.
Exclude. No, but it should. Should just work. No, but here's nothing. And then, I don't know, let's just see if it's, let's just take one of the links here.
See, maybe one of the CDK blocks. I think the first one, yeah. Oh no, that's different. Right.
So we just take this. So we have this handler here. Yeah, then just any. Can we do this? No.
you want to console log it maybe, or print it?
Yeah. I'm not sure if this will work. Since it's async. Oh yeah, and we have to add TypeScript.
I have the same problem. I always run npm run build then in my case. So I guess it's yarn build, yarn run build maybe.
Yeah, we need this anyway. So
yeah. And that's one of the issues I had with the complete mono repo, that I can't use the beautiful like short ones.
So, and then no. Surprisingly,
Hello.
it works.
Hello. Nice, good job. Good, well done. And the print worked.
Yeah. So I mean that worked somehow.
Wow. Surprise. Nice.
I'm also like quite surprised. In particular, since what I still don't understand is why there's no type information here. But okay, if it works, it's okay.
Don't question.
But yeah, sure, we should get, or like we should store this somehow. This is so slow. And then we build it. And so this build properly, get royalty level. So where's the function here? Playwright handler. Yeah, that makes sense. Lambda.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, if we just
we could hijack the GraphQL API that's still in place, and try, instead of returning the loyalty level, we could return the results
as a string.
Yeah. I don't know if that works.
Yeah, sure, that would work. I mean, we could just, so we have the logged result here.
It's really just line 9 that gets returned.
Yeah. So then this get yeah. Okay, cool. Then we need to build this again. I'm pretty sure I saw some package, like some CDK package, which would take also care of all the building and stuff. But I'm not sure if that works for TypeScript or if it just works for Node.js, like for plain Node.js. But yeah, anyway, so we did build this now. And I don't know. I would just go ahead and deploy it again and see what happens. So I'm still what I'm unsure really about is how this Lambda function and Playwright will be handled. Since I would expect that Playwright is, or like Chromium itself is platform dependent, so it would have to be fetched somehow. I don't know how it's done. No, like I mean, like some Mac Chromium wouldn't work on like on any Linux environment.
Yeah, but I mean they build it specifically for Lambda functions.
Yeah,
so I have trust in them.
Yeah, we'll see.
Also, they have 800 weekly downloads, so it doesn't look like it's failing constantly.
Yeah. Okay, so this means like we should see. Ooh, that was what? Smoke alarm?
Yeah, sorry. No, that was the security system.
AppSync. Oh no. Hang on. So I have to.
So if we actually have the, if you want to send over later the API key and the endpoint, because I have it set up already, the proper call, and I can try out what we get as a result.
What have you set up?
I have Postman already configured for exactly that call with the the schema.
So here we go. And so I would have expected that we have, but we don't have any.
What's to deploy?
US East, okay, that's okay. AppSync CDK stack. So what is CloudFormation saying?
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to have a look at that. Maybe we can look together.
Is that a different account? Oh, that's a pipeline. Hang on. So which which stack do we want to which stack do we want to deploy again? CDK pipelines, demo stage, AppSync CDK stack.
That's the correct stack name.
Pipeline devs. So what is this here doing? Bin.
I think in the bin, instead of having an app, it has the reference to the pipeline that references the.
Yeah.
So I think we need to.
I see. Yeah. No issue. Where's the app here anyway? CDK pipelines.
And the app is actually the AppSync CDK stack. So that's the app, but we don't have that in the bin folder, I guess.
So here's a stack, and where do we have the app? Or we don't have any apps. That's what you're saying.
It's referenced here as a service, and then new. So it's in the CDK pipelines.ts. It references as the new service.
Here's the app. Yeah, okay. But then we could just change the import here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So we could just say AppSync CDK stack.
Yeah, it's also called AppSync CDK. Yeah, there we go.
So I messed this up. Some const.
New CDK. Yeah.
So this is better.
Ah, damn! I didn't think of that. Yeah, sure.
I mean, for pipelines, it would be perfect.
Build it once, I think.
It's building automatically, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's the deploy, not a send. Sorry.
Yeah.
All
right, and now it's anyway.
Yeah, the pipeline is not working anyway, so goodbye. Yeah, slowly we're coming closer. But the serverless stuff is super fast, so it should be a couple. Like once the change set is done, it's really quick. I hope it just doesn't delete first and then.
Yeah, exactly. The delete is probably taking a bit for all those buckets and stuff. Yeah, and I think all those buckets will just be orphaned. So yeah, so we need some. How's it called? Like there's like, are you using something like this? Like one of those cleanup things? What's the name? AWS Nuke or something like this?
Yeah, no. my personal account, at some point I just go in and delete all that. But yeah. It would be better to use something like AWS Nuke or, I don't know, something with a stack with a time to live parameter or something. CDK bomb is actually quite cool. The construct from one of the community members. Yeah, so it will just implode after a given time, right? So I'm still
so you don't forget any resources.
Yeah, last time I told you I was thinking how to kill some AWS credits, and I'm still thinking about it. I haven't found a solution for it. Basically, a way for you to kill. So you run folding at home on a stock on spot instances. You set a spot instance price, and then you could implode it after X seconds. So you could basically say, "Hey, I want to spend $10, and then it would calculate. Okay, but then you would have to set a spot price, and then it would calculate the minutes for you, and would implode the stack after, let's say, 45 minutes.
But I think you would have to say you would want to spend maximum $10, right? Since you don't know at which price you will actually get the instance.
And I think you have to set a spot price, huh? Isn't that the problem?
No, what I understood is that you say I'm willing to pay up to, I don't know, $1. But only if the current bid is only 30 cents, then I'm bidding 31 cents basically.
Yeah. I have to look into it.
So and I think you can subscribe to a stream of actual charges for spot instances, but so which how many money do you actually spend on them? But I think it's delayed by a few hours.
Yeah,
or
that would
at
be
least
everything,
half an hour or 1 hour. So
everything billing related is super delayed. I don't know, on purpose or something. But yeah, that's the idea. So I thought then basically once I spend my credits, I'm just going to nuke it automatically. That would be quite cool. I don't know if I would trust it actually. If you have a cluster that runs overnight, then okay. So yeah, it worked. So that's our endpoint. You're unauthorized. How come?
No worries. There we go.
Playwright, query schema. Beautiful. Nice. Oh yeah, wait, I'll send you the query. I have it here. It's complicated, so.
Yeah, there we go. That's one.
Yeah, that's the one I sent you.
Perfect. Unhandled task. I think we don't set a proper timeout.
Oh, it's just 3 seconds.
I think it
default.
looks like a default.
I guess that takes a little bit more time. Or just 60s. It's this construct, right? Isn't it seconds?
CDK duration.
Oh yeah, the one. And then parentheses and yeah.
So is this. Yo. So, and once again.
Yeah, now it's fast. That's a quick update.
Yes. But I mean, it didn't error out directly, which is not too bad. So this apparently worked. Or it didn't. Okay, let's get to the Lambda. Oh yeah, no changes. No, I think the issue is.
No, I think you have to run a build and then deploy again.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I will be surprised.
That's why it was so fast as well.
Yes.
Come on.
Do we actually have to build it all the time? I thought the CDK deployer would just build it.
No, I usually have this TSC minus W in the background, so then constantly builds as you tried before.
No, but
and that
NKX,
fixes it, right?
TS node. No, it should just work. So that looks like a UI issue anyway.
Yeah.
So we do want to get the level. We do want to get it now.
Come on. So you're locally working, but now you're leaving us behind. Yes, that's not nice.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what the issue is. So let's have a look what what is actually deployed here. So schema, packages. So here are the assets, right? So that's Playwright. So that's probably like outdated. Yeah, here that's the one, C1. I would expect that this is uploaded. And here we have the link scraper. But let's confirm this quickly. We should have this bucket here, right? Pipeline, oh, which one is it? Probably this one. Oh, Probably this one.
So that's the asset file. The asset.
I believe. Why can't I download this shitty file? Download as. No, I can't do this. Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to confirm that this is actually the file, but like just judging by the size, it's probably the file since we have like 2 screenshots here in mind. So yeah, I mean, might be the file.
Shall we run it in the Lambda console to see the full error message?
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's see, test, great, doesn't matter.
$5 every Lambda test is just some random string. They should have just put a default value in it.
Details, import module error.
Cannot find link scraper.
Link scraper request.
Right. And if you scroll down in the to the code, actually, does it show or does it say it's zipped and it can't show you the package?
It says it's too big.
Ah, damn it.
Too large.
Yeah, that would have been interesting when you see the packages and all that is part of it.
So let's do a quick check here. So we do have, so it's requiring play or link scraper.
Putting the link scraper.
Is this maybe an issue?
Yeah, I was
saying.
Is
it using? But no, I'm not. I don't think it's actually using this for the require statement. So it's. I think require is really just using node modules and trying to find it here.
So if we copy it into the node modules, I mean it's yeah.
It's here.
Oh.
Here it is. So that's why I'm like a bit surprised that this doesn't work. Isn't here like a nice dependencies, get ignored, blah, zip file. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much what we've done. But let's see.
So yeah, we did that exactly. So we installed now the link scraper package into the function itself as now part of Node of the Node module.
And here's like this asset, like in CDK out. It's exactly like this.
Is the update function command? Oh no, that's Sam. Create the zip file. Yeah, the zipping is done by CDK.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's this. And instead of using the Lambda package, using the Lambda Node.js package, that may be something that would help.
I'm not. I think that's a package which I mentioned or which I meant earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's actually helping here. Do you have a link?
Yeah, I put it in Slack. It has a bundling class, but I haven't read through it or I haven't used it.
Parcel. Build arcs, Docker image. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's working in our repository. So if it's really working with a Docker image, I'm not sure how how local references are imported then.
Yeah.
Like those relative references to another package or I'm not sure. But let's have a look at the error message one more time. So it's saying error message can't find module link scraper requires stack playwright.js. So what is this saying?
Let's Google that exactly.
Yeah.
A module. What are complaining about? We don't use layers. Someone is suggesting global reads.
Global reads?
Yeah, some library files might not have global reads, so Lambda will not be able to read content and build the content. Make sure all the files and node modules are readable before packaging. I guess so. Huh?
You mean like permissions? File permissions?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like literally in your system. Yeah, I guess we're in the same. No, we're not in the same. But... I mean, we could double check if we have read permissions on the link scraper package, but why not? That doesn't make sense at all. There was read permissions on the actual folder inside of node modules.
I see, yeah. This would be that one.
There's a second person that says the exact error can show up if your zip files do not have worldwide read permissions. I've never heard of that. Actually.
Worldwide repermissions. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you the link quickly, or I'll copy it into Slack. Direct look.
Yeah, that could be actually an issue.
Yeah.
Since I think the original setup for this link scraper, initially it was like a separate repository as well, so I just inlined this. And this was created via Prorian. And you see here, the repermissions are not worldwide. It's just what the user.
Yeah, that would be interesting if that's the root of the problem.
But I'm not sure. So lib. I mean, lib shouldn't be affected. No. Source. No, it's also all readable. So I'm just wondering, like, if there are any relevant files which could be affected. I mean, perhaps package.json. Not sure. And all the other stuff is.
It sounds really far-fetched, but
yeah.
I mean, it's twice in here, and people are saying like, "Hey, thanks." This was actually the issue.
How do you do that? Like this?
I had this gmod command in the. I copy pasted it also.
Yeah. Yeah, like +R. So it's now readable for all, but I would doubt that this is actually the issue. But where are we anyway? Oh yeah, that's the wrong place anyway. So we should do this, of course, in packages, link scraper.
That would be so strange. Yeah, really.
You never know.
Today I learned.
And yeah, build, just to be sure.
And we have an index.js file inside of the link scraper package, huh?
Yes.
I think I saw one, yeah. But someone else was suggesting here that he renamed it, and that was the problem.
So in which one? In the link scraper, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, in the link scraper we do have in lib there's an index file, and it's referenced in package.json. So, but yeah, here no changes again. So how do you force an like deployment? Any idea?
I think did you build it again?
Yes, I did. It's probably not picking up only permission changes.
Just change the time to 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 4 minutes. That solves it.
Yeah.
It's probably also a force command, but I don't know from
AppSync CDK stack, playwright handler. Let's go for 4 minutes or 5.
Great. Should help. That's a strange error.
Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. It could make sense, right? It's like you need package.json to figure out which file you actually should load. Right? I mean, it's referenced here, right? So it's saying in packages, package.json, it's saying, hey, my types are here. And my main entry point is this. So if you can't read that file to get this information.
If it doesn't work, I found a different one that we did in the import statement, in the require statement in our Lambda function. We just said import link scraper. And some GitHub issues suggest that you have to do /link -scraper. And that's the correct path then. So you go into the node module.
Would be like a, if you don't want to load it from node modules, right? Then
no, it's in load modules here. The example.
Okay.
This guy has it inside of SSC handler. Where is it? Oh, I think you're right. No, you're right. No, he has it outside of Node. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be surprised. That would be. Oh, yeah, it's updated, but yeah, it seems to still raise the issue. Well, I think then we have to figure it out offline.
Yep. Also good time, 20 to 30. So yeah, strange. All right, cool. Good session. Didn't get much done,
session,
but learned a lot again.
Yes.
It's still cool.
Yes, they're cool. So we learned like a bunch of things about the pipelines. We learned a bit about AppSync. We learned lots of monorepo issues.
Yeah, especially monorepo stuff. Yeah, it's a fun world.
And yeah, how to simplify things by using monorepo and making it super complicated at the same time, basically.
Yeah,
but yeah,
exactly. Well, let's continue next time.
Nevertheless, I think, yeah, exactly. You just continue next time, and oops, that was the wrong
inception.
I wanted to. Yes. So yeah, so that was. Yeah, I don't know. We just figured out offline and then come back in one of the next sessions.
Good idea.
Then thank you very much for your time. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah. See you next time.